Day. They told us it was just another * Sister Wives * plot, right? Just another moment lost under years of fabricated smiles and rehearsed apologies. But what the cameras weren't capturing was the ring. Not just any ring, but a single, powerful symbol meant to bring the family together. And instead, it tore them apart. For years, we, the audience, believed we had seen it all about Kody Brown, the patriarch who built an empire of wives, kids, and vows. But what the cameras didn't capture, behind closed doors, was something much smaller, much darker. It all started with a straightforward question from Mykelti, a teenage daughter who simply wanted to be noticed. She wasn't asking for glory, or adoration, or even a fancy car. All she sought was a ring that all the other Brown children had already received. A sign of belonging, a symbol of loyalty. But when Mykelti requested it, Kody declined. And when she asked him again, he laughed. Can you imagine? They referred to it as the family unity ring, B. For Mykelti, it became something else entirely, a searing memory that love in her family came with rules, with conditions. Many claim this moment was buried, cut, hidden, and locked deep inside the archives of TLC itself. Recently, though, fragments emerged, unseen moments. Moments that showed what actually went down between Kody Brown and his daughter, and the precise instant that changed their relationship for good. In that leaked video, Kody isn't smiling. He's not the suave patriarch we thought we knew. He's mad, cold. Mykelti sits opposite him, her eyes red, clutching something tightly in her hand. It's not just any ring, it's a replica, a ring she purchased for herself. And when Kody lays eyes on it, something within him cracks. He leans forward and says something no father should ever say to his child. He whispers, "Love isn't something you buy, Mykelti, you earn it." Silence. And then the part unseen. The part that was edited out before broadcast. Christine, her mom, enters the frame, clearly disturbed. Stir. Robin turns away and ends. For a fleeting moment, all of the sister wives on that set see reality. This family was unfounded on agreement. It was founded on stipulation. That moment, that single piece of unseen footage, was the start of the ring scandal. A scandal Kody Brown struggled desperately to keep under wraps, until today, because what followed would expose not only one secret, but years of manipulation, envy, and hypocrisy that even TLC couldn't keep hidden indefinitely. The Brown household was thick with tension that day. Cameras rolled, but everyone sensed it, that odd, piercing atmosphere right before something snaps. Mykelti just sat there, quiet, her hands still wrapped around the copy ring. The one she purchased herself from a thrift store for under $20. It wasn't about the money. It was about what that ring stood for. Belonging, family trust. But to Kody Brown, defiance. The cameras were rolling to capture another wholesome moment. A dad showing his daughter about love, about duty. But what they recorded instead was pure rage. Kody leaned in, his voice steady but his eyes icy. "You think love comes from a piece of metal," he said. But his voice broke, just a little, giving away something deeper, something repulsive. Mykelti's lips trembled. She didn't answer. Christine tried to speak, but Robin cut her off. "Let them talk," Robin whispered, eyes flicking to the camera crew. The cameramen hesitated. They were used to drama, used to awkward silences. But this was different. One of the producers reportedly lowered his camera for a moment, whispered to another crew member, "We shouldn't be filming this." But they didn't stop. They never stop. And that's why there's still footage, concealed in the raw footage, never broadcast, but never deleted. In the leaked clip, years later, Kody's words turned to ice. "You think you can bully your way into this family by purchasing something we worked for?" Christine's voice, gentle, cracking, pierced through the room. She just wanted to feel part of things. "Kody, she's your daughter." The silence that came afterwards was louder than any fight. Kody stared at her, then at the camera, his jaw clenched. Day. And then, as if a switch, he smiled. That rehearsed, TV-perfect smile. The one that viewers always trusted. But Mykelti didn't smile in return. She tucked the ring into her pocket and left the set. Later that evening, by the account of one of the crew members, Kody instructed that the scene be erased. "Cut it," he said. "We're not airing that. That's not our image." But one editor didn't delete it. He labeled the file differently, tucked it deep inside a folder marked Unused Family Segments. And years later, when that editor left TLC, the footage didn't disappear. It found its way online. Quietly, no watermark, no credits, just 36 seconds of uncut truth. And those 36 seconds were enough to ruin everything Kody had fought to preserve. Because once individuals witnessed what he told his daughter, once they witnessed that moment of mortification, the web went crazy. And that's when the actual scandal erupted. The video didn't suddenly go viral. It began small, a lone upload on a long-forgotten fan board, a shaky 36-second video with nothing but unseen Brown family footage. Ring scene raw, no one thought it was real at first. The light was poor, the voices were indistinct, but the tone, the anguish in Mykelti's voice, that couldn't be acted. You can hear her whispering in the video, "Why am I the only one without one?" And then Kody's response, cold, controlled, cutting because not everyone deserves to wear the same ring. Enough to send shockwaves through the Sister Wives fandom. Comment sections flared up, Reddit threads multiplied by the hour. Theories, accusations, timestamps, frame-by-frame analyzes. TLC attempted to brush it off. The network released a silent denial, labeling it unauthorized fan editing. But fans were not swallowing it. Too much of it seemed true. Too perfectly, it matched other behind-the-scenes moments, small glances, reactions, secret truths that viewers had picked up on for years. And then, the hard hit. A former production assistant, anonymous, voice altered, was featured in a podcast interview. She stated, "I saw that footage. It's real. It was cut because Kody insisted on it. He said it made him appear controlling." Controlling. That was the word that shifted everything. Viewers, who once saw Kody as the charming head of a complex family, now started seeing something else, a pattern. From the favoritism rumors to his public arguments with Christine, fans started to piece together what TLC had tried to hide for over a decade. Commentators began calling it the hidden ring scandal, a symbol of how control disguised itself as love, how obedience was dressed up as family unity. Within 48 hours, hashtags #Ringgate and #Justice for Mykelti began trending. Clips were remixed, re-uploaded, broken down. Even ex-cast members began to chime in, some defending Kody, some quietly liking posts that criticized him. The damage was done. Kody's silence just fanned the flames. For days, he remained silent. No statements, no interviews, just an abrupt disappearance from social media, a silence more potent than words. In the meantime, Christine, now divorced, shattered hers. A lone post, a simple hashtag below, an old family portrait. Rings should mean love, not permission. The internet blew up again, and that's when it became apparent this wasn't merely about one ring, D's. This was about all the things that rings stood for. Because if love was conditional within the Brown family, what else had been concealed behind those lenses all these years? And just when everyone thought the storm had passed, another clip appeared. One that would reveal why Kody was so intent on hiding the first one. The internet had already blown up once, but the second leak was different. This wasn't shaky cam or fan footage. This was clean, properly lit, color-corrected, obviously studio quality. It meant only one thing: someone on the inside had let it out. The clip was marked Season 8, Day 43, Segment 12. In it, Kody Brown leans on the side of a wooden table, his fingers clutching a folder that reads Family Ceremony. Opposite him, Mykelti, her face wet with tears. The camera shifts ever so slightly, and Christine is visible in the background, stuck in place. And then you hear it. The line that would redefine everything viewers thought they understood. "You'll get your ring when you prove you deserve it." Those 3 words, cold, sharp, rehearsed, cut deeper than anyone had anticipated. It's that moment wasn't intended to be viewed. It was edited out of the final cut, says one insider, not due to time, but due to fear. Fear that the public would observe Kody, not as the devoted patriarch, but as a man fixated on control. For years, TLC had built a persona, the poor but doting father, the misunderstood polygamist, the man attempting to keep a dysfunctional family intact. But this video shattered the myth. In a matter of hours, the video went viral across social media platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Reddit. Some supporters accused it of manipulation. Others accused it of abuse. But they all agreed on one thing. This was not just an awkward moment. It was evidence. Evidence that the unity Kody taught came with conditions attached. And it didn't end there. Fans started going back through past episodes looking for clues, expressions, anything that seemed to suggest this underlying dynamic. What they uncovered was chilling. Going back through old footage, they noticed Mykelti always smiling, always accommodating, getting suddenly quiet whenever Kody appeared on screen. They noticed how Robin consistently stepped in, redirecting questions, deflecting tension. And Christine, her smiles began to look fake. It was as if the whole family had been instructed to perform an act, a script that was not penned by the producers, but by Kody himself. Then, an unknown editor left a note on the internet that was the only scene that got cut. The note included a screenshot, a list of unused footage, all with the same sorts of file names: family_ring_ceremony_, Kody_Christine_argument_, Robin_response_, and at the end of the list, one title jumped out in red letters: ring_confrontation_final_. That was the missing clip. The one producers said did not exist. The one Kody supposedly demanded be destroyed. But it wasn't destroyed. It was backed up. And when that clip turned up, it didn't just reveal a scandal. It revealed a pattern. Because what occurred in that unseen footage demonstrated one thing. Kody Brown didn't just embarrass Mykelti, he shattered something much larger. Something no father should ever handle. And from that moment on, there was no turning back. It was meant to be intimate. A father-daughter moment. But microphones remained active. Cameras kept rolling. And someone, through mistake or design, continued taping. The fight occurred late, after the scene everyone had already witnessed was finished. Crew had begun to pack up. Few remained inside the house: Kody, Christine, Robin, and Mykelti. Mykelti's eyes were red, her hands shaking. She still had that copy ring, the one she'd bought herself. Kody stood near the doorway, arms crossed, trying to sound calm but looking anything but, said, "You embarrassed me today." His voice echoed in the room. Mykelti tried to answer, but he kept talking louder, faster, like he was afraid of silence. She explained to him she didn't purchase the ring to be rebellious. She purchased the ring so she could know how her siblings felt, so she could feel like she belonged. But Kody refused to listen. "You don't know what it is to earn love," he said. "You think symbols create family. But family is obedience." There was a silence. A long one. Christine stepped forward. "Kody, please." He spun around. "Keep out of this, Christine. You made this mess by spoiling her." Those were words that shattered something in that room. The crew still within the soundman, the assistant. They did not budge. They simply stood there, immobile. The boom mic was left on. Each word captured. Mykelti whispered something then, hardly spoken. "You told me family was about love, not about rules." Kody glanced at her, eyes slitted. "Love has rules," he told her. "That's why it lasts." And that's when Christine uttered the line that never made air. "If love has rules, Kody, maybe it's not love anymore." The silence that followed was agonizing. Even Robin had nothing to say. She just stood behind him, arms crossed, looking down. That's when a member of the crew said, Kody spoke to the camera operator, telling him, "Cut this, all of it." They didn't, or at least, not initially. One mic, the backup mic, continued to roll. It recorded Kody walking away, the door slamming shut behind him, and Christine cradling Mykelti as she wept. That audio, never intended to see the light of day, somehow did. And when it surfaced, alright, let's dive into the fascinating world behind the scenes, a place where things are not always as they appear on screen. Get ready to have your mind blown. So, we left off with the shocking revelation of the unseen ring footage. Once that clip hit the internet, there was absolutely no turning back for anyone involved. TLC, as you can imagine, completely freaked out. We're talking internal meetings, a flurry of emails, and even legal threats flying around. The editors were interrogated, their drives meticulously searched, but the original file, the one named ring_confrontation_final_ was mysteriously gone. Someone had permanently deleted it. The only copy that remained was the one the ghost editor had cleverly saved. Now, the ghost editor, he later revealed his motives. He told me he didn't do it for fame or glory. He did it for Mykelti, because, as he put it, she didn't deserve to be cut out of her own truth. And that powerful sentence, cut out of her own truth, quickly became the new rallying cry for fans everywhere. Started looking closer, examining every single instance. Mykelti seemed absent from major episodes. Her story suddenly clicked into place. Her distance, those guarded smiles, her occasional appearances, it all made sense. The ghost editor, in leaking that clip, did more than just release a video. He shattered an illusion. Because from that moment on, once people realized how meticulously the narrative had been constructed, they started questioning everything. What else was being manipulated? What other secrets were being concealed right before their eyes? And who else was being muffled just to maintain Kody's seemingly squeaky clean image? This was no longer just a family matter for Kody. It had escalated into a full-blown public reckoning. His legacy, painstakingly constructed over 18 seasons of television, was crumbling in real time. And when the press started calling for a comment, Kody's team repeated the same line over and over. No comment. The footage is fake, but the fans, oh, they knew better. They had the evidence. They had the audio. They had the ghost editor's admission. And amidst all the turmoil that followed, something truly strange happened. Someone else came forward. Someone from within the family. But it wasn't Mykelti. It wasn't Christine. It was someone Kody never in a million years thought would stand against him. The family had remained silent. TLC had remained silent. But one person, incredibly close to Kody, just couldn't remain quiet any longer. She wasn't one of the wives. She wasn't one of the children. She was somebody who had been present for every single shoot, every fight, every retake, every scripted apology. Her name was Marla Jennings, a veteran production assistant on Sister Wives. Initially, she seemed like a faceless voice in a podcast interview. Her voice changed, her name omitted. But with the scandal exploding, her true identity came out, and she corroborated everything. It wasn't just about jewelry, Marla stated firmly. It was about control. In her telling, the ring represented something the public never truly witnessed, Kody's personal dictatorship. She described it as, only those who obey get to belong. Marla divulged that during production. All symbolic gifts Kody gave to his family, necklaces, books, even matching t-shirts were meticulously timed to scenes where he would look good. It wasn't by chance, it was all carefully planned. He wanted the fans to believe he was the unifier, Marla explained. But behind the scenes, he used those symbols to gauge loyalty. She spoke about moments that were never shown. Moments when Kody actually removed things from family members who disrespected him on television. At one point, he even asked one of the children for a ring back, telling them they hadn't earned it. The crew was instructed to dump that footage right away. But Marla didn't. She copied some of the audio and preserved it, not out of spite, but just in case, she figured. The truth ever needed witnesses. And when the unseen ring footage leak went viral, Marla recognized it was time. She revealed everything she had, supporting it with photos, call sheets, and production logs. She wasn't compensated. She didn't monetize her tale. She simply shared it. Her confession completely overhauled the story overnight. Fans who previously thought the leak was just hype realized it was merely the tip of the iceberg. Major outlets reported it. People, ET Online, Reality T, each of them verifying new information. The headlines blared, "Insider confirms secret family control system behind Sister Wives," and Kody Brown's symbols of devotion revealed. TLC's public relations department spun into high gear, issuing carefully crafted denials of wrongdoing. But they didn't name Marla. They didn't need to. The harm was already done. Kody's social media was flooded by fans, all with one burning question. Where's the ring now? Because if Kody had actually taken it back, then the entire facade of love and togetherness, the very cornerstone of Sister Wives, had just utterly collapsed. And as it happened, someone did know what happened to the ring, someone who wasn't allowed to speak. Someone a lot closer to Kody than everyone had ever anticipated. The tape was appalling, the admission was incriminating. But the enigma that kept everybody up at night was plain and simple. Where was the ring now? The dainty silver band that started it all, once on Mykelti's finger, replicated from her father's design, had transformed into something far greater. It was evidence. Evidence of everything the world had only speculated about in Kody Brown's personal life. When the leak first surfaced, fans had assumed Mykelti still possessed it. But when she was prompted in a live Q&A, she smiled uneasily and stated, "It's complicated." Those two words sent shockwaves throughout the fandom. Because complicated implied something significant had occurred. Pause. Per production records, the ring disappeared the same week Kody off-camera confronted Mykelti. Following the scene where she was berated for disrespect, a crew member witnessed her put the ring into her bedroom drawer. But when it was time to resume filming 2 days later, it was gone. The drawers were combed through, the props checked. Nothing. Mykelti asked her dad what happened to it, and he is quoted to have said, "Maybe you weren't meant to wear it." That phrase. It sounded harmless, but in the Brown household it carried immense weight. The kind of phrase Kody used when something was in tee-up for debate. Weeks later, during an episode filming in Flagstaff, a sharp-eyed viewer caught something unusual. A glint on Kody's finger, not his usual gold band, but a silver one. Identical to Mykelti's fans froze the frame. Compared screenshots, zoomed in, it was her ring. The same pattern, the same curve, even the same dent near the rim. And yet, when questioned about it, Kody explained that he'd never worn anything that wasn't his own. But Mykelti never wore that ring again. Not in pictures. Not on television. Not even at family reunions. For so many, that was the moment the symbolism got too dark to be ignored. The ring that once symbolized belonging had become a trophy. It was no longer about being together, it was about control. And then, months afterward, another piece of evidence came to light. A behind-the-scenes picture, leaked from a studio computer, of a table with a cover of accessories to be used for interviews. Dead center, the ring, lying alongside Kody's script notes. Written in the corner of the page, in bold letters, were 3 ominous words: "Control the story." That memo verified what the insiders had been gossiping about for years, that all the promotional scenes were pre-shot, all the confessions memorized. Even the anguish had direction. And as the investigation unfolded, the narrative changed once more. Because if this ring was in the possession of Kody, then what else had he suppressed? According to one anonymous TLC insider, the ring was not the only thing he'd kept under wraps. There were documents, personal ones, letters, even never-seen footage. Things that no one outside the family had ever laid eyes on. And that, the source said, was when the cover-up really started. The ring was just the tip of the iceberg. Because once folks began digging further, something larger emerged. Something that caused the scandal to burst far beyond reality television. Behind Kody's meticulously edited existence, there were files. Hidden, unheard, and stored away. These files were uncovered by accident, not by a seasoned reporter, but by a young post-production technical. He was scrubbing older drives set for destruction when he saw a folder that was completely out of place. It was simply labeled K_Brown_personal_ref. It contained dozens of subdirectories, all but one were encrypted. That single unencrypted folder changed everything. It contained scanned letters, screen captures, and even handwritten scribbles. But most notably, it held drafts of confessions. Not video confessions, but written ones. Each family member had a script, precisely crafted paragraphs they were instructed to read from emotionally. And in the margins of Kody's copies were handwritten edits. Eliminate doubt. Make Robin more forgiving. Don't have Christine cry too long. Those weren't just editing notes. They were manipulation instructions. The documents included something else too, a page titled Control Themes, S17 S18. It laid out scripted storylines for upcoming episodes, months before production had even started. And there it was again, the word ring, next to it. Symbol of unity, later revoked, represents obedience. Must tie to family discipline arc. It was never impromptu, never sentimental. It was all scripted. Even the fight that made headlines, the one in which Mykelti confronted her father, was scripted as a moral tension scene. But no one thought it would become a reality. The editor who discovered these files instantly recognized the bombshell he'd uncovered. What a wild ride into the truth behind the cameras. It just goes to show that there's always more to the story than meets the eye, especially in reality TV. 2. If you found this deep dive as fascinating as I did, hit that like button, subscribe for more shocking revelations, and let me know in the comments what you think about this incredible saga. Thanks for watching. Alright, listen up, because this isn't just about a TV show anymore. This is about what happens when the cameras keep rolling, even when they're not supposed to. You might remember the story from part 1 and 2, about the alleged reality TV ring scandal, and how one brave soul decided enough was enough. He took all the evidence, every single file, cloned it onto a USB stick, and anonymously sent it off to an independent reporter, someone who'd already bravely covered the ring controversy. Weeks later, the files exploded onto the internet. And what fans found? It wasn't just about the flaws in Kody's narrative, it was about the entire machine operating behind the scenes. The ring, the infamous brawls, the tearful moments. It was all allegedly staged, all carefully orchestrated. But, buried within those same leaked files, there was something else. A secret folder, password protected, but with a telling half-finished name. Footage_hold_4_season 20. Double quotes and inside. According to the metadata logs, with several video files. One, in particular, caught everyone's eye. Family_contract_4. Now, that title immediately set off alarm bells. Insiders had already whispered for years about a family contract, something they were never to violate. A document that dictated how they spoke, what they shared, even what they could post on social media. And the most shocking rumor, this contract wasn't with the network TLC, it was supposedly with Kody himself. If that was true, if Kody had indeed drafted personal control contracts, then the ring wasn't just a symbol, it was a seal. A silent mark of who had pledged their allegiance, and who had quietly, perhaps bravely, declined. These documents ripped open a truth that no one could ignore, shattering the carefully constructed illusion of a harmonious family. But even with all those leaks, one question lingered. What on earth was inside that last video file? Family_contract_4. Who would dare to open it? It was the file no one was supposed to see. Deeper than any contract, any confession, any secret ring. For weeks, it remained untouched. Everyone who tried to access it backed away. Some claimed their drives crashed. Others swore the video was corrupted, or even hexed. But then, one evening, a former crew member, someone who knew the truth, decided to do something different. They pressed play. And what they witnessed, it altered absolutely everything. The screen flickered to life. No music, no fancy intro, just raw, unedited footage. Kody sat in a dark room, no makeup, no mic, a notebook open before him. One by one, each family member entered, signed documents, and left something small on the table. Rings. Real rings. Not props, not stage symbols, but their actual rings. And the contract, it wasn't with TLC. It wasn't with any network. It was with *him*. Every single signature was accompanied by a solemn promise. To keep up the family image, to defend oneness no matter the cost, and to leave personal grievances for public harmony. But Christine hesitated. She read the paper twice, her hand trembling. She whispered something barely audible into the microphone. If love requires a contract, it's already lost. Kody looked directly at her, serene, almost as if he was following a script. If you leave now, Christine, he said, you're leaving the story. And just like a director yelling cut, he shut the book. The camera kept rolling, but the scene it simply ceased. The rest of the tape was eerily quiet. No talking, just footage of the empty table, the rings, and one lone chair. Dead. Chair was labeled Mykelti. She never returned to sign. Weeks later, when this video finally leaked, fans noticed something incredibly strange. At the very end, just as the camera was about to power down, a reflection appeared in the darkened window behind Kody. A second camera. Someone was filming the filmer, who was holding that lens. Another crew member. A family member. Or perhaps, someone who understood that, one day, the truth would need its witnesses. To this day, no one truly knows. The video was deleted from all servers within hours of the leak. But duplicates had already spread to private collectors, data vaults, and encrypted forums. Some reports claim Kody tried to buy them back. Others say he threatened lawsuits. But one thing is certain, the damage was irreparable. The ring, the confrontation, the secret files, it all culminated in this moment. The instant the entire story collapsed in on itself. Because what began as a reality show had morphed into something much, much darker. A chilling tale of control, truth, and the staggering cost of silence. As viewers now rewatch old episodes, searching for hidden clues, one massive question remains unresolved. If that asterisk was the last file, what else could possibly still be hidden? Something is missing, something we were never meant to discover. Perhaps, just perhaps, someone is still watching, waiting for the perfect moment to upload the genuine finale. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible deep dive. If you found this as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button, share this video with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next unraveling of mysteries. See you next time.